Hey y'all, okay, so I'm getting real results here. Working out with LASHAE Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and taking my ISOT, y'all. I am really getting it in. Y'all can get these booty bands, y'all can get cute little workout outfits and everything from teamlashae.com. The link is down below in the description box. Okay, check out these results right here. Get into it. Y'all should also check out Waist Knot Beads. She sent me these and I really love them. But yes, y'all, get onto this ISOT. I know they tell y'all it's a scam, but it's not. Like, look at me. And let's not forget about Omiage. Get you some. Come on now. Get all moisturized and such. Let your natural hair live. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondi Blue and I am back for another Greenleaf review, y'all. Yes, okay, Greenleaf is giving. I can't say enough how disappointed I am that this is the last season. Just saying. It's really going good. I mean, I think there might be a spinoff. Is there going to be a spinoff? There's going to be a spinoff though, right? There's going to be a Greenleaf spinoff. I think I saw that. So, fingers crossed. We'll see how that goes. So, yeah, y'all. The episode starts off with James on the phone upset with the FBI. What is Rochelle James doing just walking around free? What's happening? Yeah, he's upset. She's supposed to be a warrant of the state. May is trying to get him to go to his doctor's appointment for this physical, but he's ignoring her. And Grace is trying to find out what the hell is going on. So James says, "Thank you for nothing." And he hangs up the phone. And he says that she'll no longer be a person of interest. May says it's time for you to go to the doctor. And he uses Rochelle as a reason to say that getting a physical is no longer a priority. I'm like, how? How is it no longer a priority? If y'all get past this Rochelle James situation, you might still die. You need to go get the physical, James. Okay, this is definitely making me feel like James might die at the end of this season. Go ahead and break my heart then, why don't you, Greenleaf? May says that later on Tara is coming to the house so that they can have a conversation. She insisted on coming by to convince May that she did not know that Rochelle was going to come back and just pop up on them like that. James says she wants this house. James says he's going down to meet with the city inspector at that club that they're going to turn into a church. He's looking towards the future. Grace asks, why is he supposed to be going to the doctor? And she's like, well, he's not going now, Grace. Don't really matter. Grace's phone rings and it's Darius. He says that he got some info. He just got home from Vegas and they stole his phone and his laptop. Bob and them are trying real hard to keep this Edinburgh Linden shit under wraps. You can tell they probably done some terrible things, huh? He asks Grace if she still has the files that he sent her. She says, let me check. So she goes to look at her laptop, and when she opens it up, she can see them magically disappearing. I'm like, you didn't save that shit on a separate disk? Like, it's just in the email. That's where you left it, Grace. What's wrong with y'all? Don't y'all know if there's anything that you want to keep, you have definitely got to copy it onto a hard drive first that is separate from your base computer. I mean, at least put it on a USB. That way it can't be, taken remotely. Like, come on now. Meanwhile, Yusuf, Phil's dad, shows up to the Greenleaf estate down at the gate. Charity goes down to meet him and she brings him in to meet Grace. As soon as he walks into the house, he was like, damn, well, religion did all this? And she was like, yes, the flock love to see its leaders doing well. And he says, sounds like something that people tell themselves, has that ring to it. Grace comes in and shakes his hand and he's like, oh, you the one I hung up on. And she was like, yeah, it's okay. He was like, I'm not apologizing. So they go in to meet with Darius and Darius gives them all the information that he knows about the Edinburgh Linden situation and how Bob was basically targeting families, offering them loans when they needed cash, and when they couldn't pay the balloon payments, he'd take their houses. Yusuf gets them to understand that he was doing it specifically to black people, which is why he's trying to get in good with the black church and make it seem as if, he's a friend to black folks because he's going to run for Senate. And he recognizes that you a lot of the time need the black vote in order to differentiate yourself from the rest of the white men. That's saying the exact same thing that you're saying. Phil's mom used to be the nice black lady that would show up at people's door and tell them that it was black folks helping other black folks, but really it was one greedy white man, Bob Whitmore. Yusuf doesn't want Phil to know the truth about his mother, that she was basically tricked out and used to bring the community of black folks down. Yeah, that's what she did. And now that's exactly what Phil is doing, following her footsteps, giving up the black woman that he loves to be with this white woman that he can't stand. Also, he can get a church that he's never really going to have any real power in. Like, I'm just so confused by this man's whole life story. Like, what is your purpose? Yusuf says that if they can get one person to back up his story, then he'll confirm it. Charity asked him to come with her and talk to Phil because Phil won't believe it if it's just coming from her. I'm just like, Phil ain't gonna believe it if it's coming from any of y'all. Phil doesn't want to believe it. Phil is brainwashed, thanks to Bob Whitmore and his mama. Been telling your son all these years that Bob Whitmore is good white folk. Oh, Lord, there's a special place in hell for people like you. After they finish talking and Yusuf and Charity leave, Darius tells Grace that later on when she comes back from the hospital with AJ, that they should have a conversation about the future. I said, child, please. We see this Noah storyline coming a mile away. I know the boy's daddy's name is Noah, y'all. It was a slip of the tongue. I always want to call him Aaron because the boy's name is AJ. So I'm always thinking Aaron Jr. I don't know why, okay? Y'all know who the hell I'm talking about. Meanwhile, Jacob and Carissa are arguing, more so talking, about what not to say in front of Winky when they meet with the arbitrator today. Jacob doesn't want to argue, so he agrees, but he says that he wants joint custody. And she says, well, you're not going to get it. I'm like, I don't know why you're doing this to yourself. Like, you know you want somebody to come and get them kids from you. Zora has decided that she's going to run away to school in order to get away from her parents' divorce and not have to deal with it. This is their life and this is my life, she tells Sophia. Sophia is trying to help her videotape herself because I guess she wants to get into, theater school, child. I don't know what's going on. But either way, while Sophia is trying to help her with her phone, she sees that she got a notification on a flight. And she is getting a flight to New York tomorrow, which is much faster than Sophia and any of us thought. So later on, Sophia goes to Jacob and Carissa and tells them that she plans on leaving behind everybody's back. I'm like, good for you, Sophia. Go tell on her. So they go talk to Zora, and Carissa tells Jacob before she comes in, you need to control your temper, Jacob. And he was like, I'm all right. I ain't the one upset, okay? Carissa tells Zora that she is not going to New York. And Zora is like, I'm an adult, okay? Like, I'm grown. I'm not a child anymore. And Carissa was like, oh, really? Like, how you gonna pay for it? Let us all know. Jacob tells Zora that they do not want to stop her from growing up. They don't want to stop her from following her dreams. But they would like for her not to put herself in harm's way by going to New York without a place to stay and live beforehand. So Jacob suggests they call one of their family members and ask if Zora can stay with her. And Zora is like, she lives in Hoboken. That's not New York City. And Carissa is like, excuse me? Your daddy is just trying to help, okay? So she agrees to hold off and let her daddy get this situation, together a little bit more safely before they send her off to New York. Then we see May and Tara talking in the conservatory. I instantly go to Clue in my mind. And Tara insists that she did not know that Rochelle was coming. I'm like, but you called Rochelle on the phone with the evilest look on your face, and now you about to play like, oh, I don't have any part of my sister and her craziness. Like, I don't believe it. And May said the same thing. Why would you even call Rochelle and tell her that Jacob came to see you if, you didn't want her to come back? Tara says that if Rochelle found out that Jacob came to see her and she didn't say anything to Rochelle, Rochelle would act crazy about it. Because y'all know Rochelle is volatile. May says that she's trying to do the right thing if somehow she can see what the right thing is. Tara thinks that the house would really be used for good. They can do some great things with it. But May doesn't think that the house will ever be enough for Rochelle. And Tara agrees with her. She don't think it'll be enough either. May says, I can't believe you agreed to that. I can't believe, you going along with me that your sister crazy. She's like, well, And just as we're talking about how crazy Rochelle is, y'all better stop playing with LaToya Luckett. LaToya Luckett walked into that bar and pissed me off so damn bad. Like, I was just like, girl, you a good actress. James is down to the bar, and Rochelle walks in all pink lady collar popped and shit. She says that she heard he was turning a bar into a church. Might as well burn it down with me in it. Ain't that the Greenleaf way? James says, when are you going to get it through your head? And she says, when are you going to get it through your heart that it's time for you to tell the truth, James? I mean, look at your life and look at mine. Rochelle said God led Jacob to Terra. God told May to give us the house. James says that he had nothing to do with that fire. She asks, why are things going so bad for you and so good for me then? Losing the church, being evicted from his house, building a church in this stinky bar? You need to ask yourself, James, why? He tells her to get out. When are you going to get over this delusion you seem to be laboring under? You're sick. You need help. And she looks at him for a long time. She's tearing up. And he's like, what? Basie should have killed you when he had the chance. She walks off, and now James feeling like shit. Oh, it was a great scene. James goes rushing home into the bedroom where May is sitting, reading her Bible as always. He says, we are not giving this house to the skanks. Rochelle came into the bar and threatened me with all the subtlety of a gangster on the street. May says, well, I had a reasonable conversation with Tara, and she doesn't seem to have any delusions about who her sister really is. May asks for James to put everything into perspective and look at everything that has happened here. They had never met that old lady, Miss Davis or whatever her name is. They never met her before Mac told James to go and see her. Why would she give them this house? Hell, why would she give Daryl James the house? Questions. Jacob comes in and says that Carissa is about to leave, and it would, be nice if they would all come out and say goodbye to her. May tells him, next time, marry someone that you're in love with so you don't have to cheat. That way you won't be worrying about this normalcy. When he walks out, she asked James if he'll reschedule his doctor's appointment, and he said, I wasn't finished talking. She was like, okay, so what you got to say? James says that everything that I've done has been broadcasted on a blimp for everyone in town to see. You've had a secret for 40 years. And you tell that boy how to live his life? Keep your holy admonitions to yourself. Which translates to, until you stop lying to our kids about being a thought and getting pregnant by Lionel with Grace, don't talk to nobody else in this house about their morality or their holiness. Noah and Grace are talking about the house and Daryl James and how he may not have been the Negro that was talked about in those diaries. So Noah says that he will look into it and, do some more deep digging. Then she asks him, how did he get AJ to agree to come to this doctor? And he says, well, actually, James did most of the work by, asking him if he wanted to work on that car. It really made an impression. All he had to do was ask. And Grace is like, oh, well, that's good. But she looks upset. Then AJ comes out and he says, oh, I see how it could have happened. And Grace is like, what? And he's like, the two of you, me, I see it now. I'm like, oh, God. Oh, God. They laugh it off, but he tells them about the one pill that they've put him on, and how he don't have insurance to pay for it. And before Grace can get it all the way out that she'll pay for it, Noah asks for AJ to meet him at the elevator, and he says that he found a place down the street from his mom's, and that if they do end up losing the estate, that she always has a place to stay with him and AJ. Strictly platonic with no strings attached. And she thanks him. And I was like, see, I told y'all they trying to make this Noah thing happen. Ever since she laid in his lap so he could rub on her head, I wish I get y'all trying to make this happen. Charity brings Yusuf to see Phil and Judy as they're looking through files, and Judy is trying to shade Corinne, talking about she always had those earbuds in her ears. It's like, yeah, so she can focus. Black people respond well to music. Yusuf announces himself to Judy, who thought he was just another one of Charity's boyfriends. It's like, what, is she gonna bring a boyfriend to meet y'all here right now? Girl, what? Judy, shut the hell up. That don't make no sense. When he says who he is, oh, I'm his fiance. Girls, please stop. Don't nobody care, okay? The way he looked at Phil when she said that was just like, oh, I'm in disgust of you, son. Phil asks what the hell Yusuf is doing there. They tell Phil about everything with Eatonville lending and how Bob was, conning poor black people out of their houses. And of course, he doesn't believe anything they say. And then he threatens to call the police, but it definitely puts something on his mind. Charity snatches the phone out of his hand and says that this man is trying to help you. And he's like, you don't know anything about this man. And I don't even know if what he's saying is true. But what I do know is that I watched my mom work day and night so he can sit there and play crossword and talk about Western civilization and colonialization and all of that type of shit while he ate the food that she worked so hard for and did nothing to help. So you was a bum. Okay, gotcha. Now we understand why Phil's so upset. Phil say he'll never want to see his daddy again, okay? And his daddy look hurt and he run out. And Charity, looks at him and she says, normally when people say I'm gonna pray for you, it's a negative thing. But right now, it's just a fact. I'm gonna pray for you. And then Phil, is sitting up there looking all hurt. And Judy says, I just can't wait for this church to be knocked down. All these people, they're like pigeons. They just keep coming back with more noise. And then she tries to, comfort him. And he's like, don't touch me, bitch. You still ain't got that dick, huh? Don't touch me, bitch. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, y'all. Child, Phil ain't going to be happy until we find him with a gun in his mouth. Anyway, Carissa is packing her luggage to leave. And she looking all sad. And Jacob asks her, what's wrong? And then he thinks about it. It's like, well, obviously, this is not a happy situation. But he says, what's wrong? And she says, when we were talking to Zora today and you were like, we. At first, I thought you were speaking French, and then I realized you were talking about you and me. And she said that she never thought that it would take for them to break up, for him to be the man that she thought he would be when they got married. And now she's wondering if it's her. I'm like, really, bitch? Yes, it has been you. 50% of this foolishness has been you. But he assures her that if it wasn't for him meeting her, they wouldn't have their children. And he is not regretful of meeting her. He's happy that he met her. So after he told her that he didn't regret being with her, she said that he could have partial custody. I was like, oh, thank you, Lord. Like, child, don't nobody feel like fighting about custody. Jesus. So they all go outside and they hug one another goodbye. And she hugs Zora, and it's a moment, okay? And once Carissa gets in her car and pulls away, I said, damn, we ain't never see Winky. Where he went? He was already in the car? Child, y'all gotta show these kids. Carissa pulls up just as May is about to tell everybody about Grace and who her real pappy is, okay? So Carissa's like, what's going on, mama? And she was like, just listen, Charity. And a lifetime of feeling left out will dissipate. Just listen, Charity. And then she tells everybody that Grace is the product of an affair she had with Lionel Jeffries. Grace is known for a while, as well as James. We are a family, and dinner is at 7. And that's that. After dinner, we see Grace, Charity, and Jacob on the balcony drinking. Just can't believe that she finally admitted it. Of course, Charity and Jacob can't believe that it's true, all the grief that she gave them throughout their lives. And Grace is like, child, what you mean? She treated me like it was my fault that I was here. Like, what y'all mean? And they're like, well, at least we now understand why you so light-skinned. Okay, but you still our sister. Charity asked if Aaron and her ex-husband know about it. And Grace is like, yeah, they know. And she gets upset with Grace, but Grace is like, look, it was mama's story to tell, okay? Not mine. And then she gets a call from Darius saying that they got somebody to corroborate Yusuf's story, so to come meet him at his house. So then we see Zora go and confront Sophia about telling her parents about her trying to sneak off, to go to New York and everything. She's not as mad as you would think that she would be, considering, okay, y'all know how much she could flip out on Sophia. But really, she went and told Grace about Sophia's nudes. So, it's fair game at this point. They also talk about how they can't believe that Grandma, was a thot. And so now Sophia is looking through the Bible to find something to, uplift Grandma thot. It's just like, girl, it'll bring you back to the Lord, won't it? Y'all, then we see Grace go to Darius's house, and Darius is nowhere to be found. Grace goes back outside. She's worried. And then she sees Fernando pull up. And he says, oh, Grace, I'll take you to Darius. And he goes to grab her arm and she jacks away. She's like, don't touch me. Where is Darius? Okay. Oh, Grace, you should have kept your nose out the business. I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go. Did y'all kill Darius? We didn't need Darius. Did we need Darius to die in order for Noah and Grace to get together? Is that what we needed? Like, y'all. So much going on right now. So many layers. They're definitely setting it up for them to possibly lose this house. And for Noah and AJ and Grace to move on into the sunset with one another. So we'll see, y'all. It's good, though. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Shout out to Greenleaf. All right, y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed the review. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all next time.